Hello, and welcome to the All Around Natural Beauty RN channel, where I am passionate about helping victims of all ages and all genders overcome the fear, overcome the fear of facing the abuse to become survivors. Because over here we believe that by facing the abuse, you will be able to become a survivor. Because it's not your fault if you were a victim. Can't help if someone victimized you. However, if you are still here, that means that you have the potential to be a survivor. And one of the ways we are capable of becoming survivors is by speaking out. For too long, victims have been shamed into staying silent and protecting these abusers. So over here, we don't do moments of silence. We do moments of speaking where we speak out the names. We speak out the names of abusers as well as victims. Victims, we speak out the names of victims. And so far, on this quest, on this mission, we have been using the umbrella of justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yes, 7 months later, we're still using that as an umbrella because we believe that by getting the justice for Shanquella, we will be able to leverage that and get justice for past victims and to decrease future victims. So I'm just super excited that we are still here, keeping it hot for justice for Shanquella. Even though they've been trying to douse the fire, y'all, they've been trying to douse the fire. And I'm not gonna lie, it was close to working. You know how it be. Like, I don't know if y'all made like a little campfire before. Like a few years ago, my nephews, they were real young, and we made a little campfire in the backyard. So we basically collected a bunch of little twigs. Thank y'all for that love. I see those hearts coming up there. Y'all was making me feel real good. So anyway, we was in the backyard. We was collecting all these little twigs and little sticks and stuff to make the fire. And whenever it would burn down, it was cold. We still wanted more warmth, so we'd go out there to go find more twigs to put on the fire to keep the fire going. So, like I was saying, I'm not gonna lie, the fire was getting, it was starting to feel kind of low. Like, it was time to give up, especially after all of the stuff that's been happening here and all of the deceit and the immorality, all of the stuff that's been happening. We see how this is a result of long time stuff happening, right? Along our little path here, along our little road, we discovered that we had to get political. We went to Washington, D.C., and, it was a lot to analyze there, too. How the fire, of course, was pretty low. Like, it was a low turnout, wasn't that many people there. And the overall energy of the people and all that good stuff. So I'm just excited. Y'all welcome and stuff. And even me, like I was saying, I was feeling like it's time to stop talking about this too. But a lot of people just is like, no, we're not gonna. For years we have been just kind of accepting these kind of things, but now with this social media, it's really true that people are like, we're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Anyway, so was the song back in the 80s. Twisted Sister. Anyway, a Gen X again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 52 years old, so I'm a proud Gen Xer. That's where I know that song from, because that's how we was getting down back there. Being a Gen X is very unique. It's a good little thing because we was here before the internet. We was here, we strong kids. We was the true Cabbage Patch kids. We was the latchkey kids, right? Where you got the key that you wore around your neck, and your mama said, "Don't you let nobody in my house when I'm gone." And for some reason, not for some reason, but we knew what Mama said. Mama said go, right? How that went down like that. So and two, we as generation had to cook for ourselves, had to do laundry, had to take that pillowcase to the laundromat to get those clothes washed and all that good stuff, right? Gen X, we some strong ones. So 52 years old, proud Gen Xer. Also the proud mother of 3 adult children, 2 XY chromosomes, and 1 XX. I'm so grateful for my little XX because it's a very unique experience to be the proud mother of an XX because it's the only time where you have 2 uterus in one body. It's a unique experience for those of you who have birthed some children into the existence, and if you've had the pleasure of putting in both genders. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I'm just so grateful that we didn't let none of that happen. We didn't let them, we've been ducking the water. We've been ducking the water, even though we've been trying to douse it, but we over here keeping it high for Shanquella because those were some of Shanquella's last words. And too many of us was touched by this whole thing. So, unfortunately, government or powers that be, all whoever it is out there that's trying to stop us from getting justice, it's not going to work. The time's up for these kind of things to happen because universe is just lining things up. Like I said, there's been some, I've grown a lot since this whole situation. A lot of stuff that I'm doing today, like I was telling you about a church, right? And me having this this ministry, like you can see, it's still hard for me to even talk about it, but I'm doing it, and I'm grateful that it's working, and I know that like I don't know. I love y'all. I see y'all over there. I'm gonna get some of these comments. But anyway, did I finish my story? Did I finish my introduction? Oh yeah. 30 years of nursing experience. And that's how I come to know y'all because of that. We got started here on this here. What is this here? With Shanquella. There was a video that surfaced that we all saw with our eyes. And that's why they wanted us to stop watching it, y'all, so we can get to this moment now to where people didn't forgot about it, right? Or they don't remember it, they didn't see it and stuff like that, so there can be doubt. We're trying to stretch it out to cast this doubt, right? So along the way, like I was saying, we became political, or at least I know that I did. And we started talking more about voting, the power of voting. Along the way, discovered all this stuff about femicide, discovered that, and, started seeing how there was multiple victims out there, and it wasn't just women. We started to see that there's also men who have been abused, and that we have to make sure that we keep the voice open for victims of all ages and all genders, because abusers come in both genders, right? There's some XXs out there that's pretty vicious, like we talked last week on the one ex football player and stuff who got tricked out by the XX vicious little something. So just to show that spirit is dwells often into a lot of people over there. I see y'all. I love y'all. And I love also the commitment that we have in here as a community with keeping the justice for Shanquella, right? This is, something that brought us all together and stuff. And we can see how, like, I didn't want to come out this way like this, but it's just how things are. It's just how things are with the whole politics stuff, and that we see that who is on our side and who is responsible for allowing all this delusional thinking to get out there and stuff like that. So, just the other day when I had the one video showing how these judges were prohibiting people from going to church, prohibiting, believers and faith, people from coming together. And that's why, the churches, the churches are cold, right? They're cold because it's nobody's in there. Nobody's in there because they made it against the law. Can you believe that? And I was just saying how I wasn't really, I didn't really pay it any attention to it because I wasn't a church goer and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just going where the Spirit is telling me to go and doing what the Spirit is telling me to do. And I'm just excited that I'm here to be used. Use me. And I'm grateful for all my beautiful beauties and beautifuls over here. Like, we have really been through a lot together. We got Ernie up in here. Hey, Ernie, welcome. Who has been here. Hey, and Helen also from way back, and Courtney. Yay! All right. Courtney was actually the first person, the first subscriber to always Courtney was sending me emails. You're gonna talk about Shanquella. Courtney made sure that we stayed focused on Shanquella and that I didn't stop talking about Shanquella in the beginning. Courtney, whenever I would even try to talk about something else, Courtney would be right off in the chat. Okay, that's great about so and so, but what about Shanquella? What about Shanquella? So thank you, Courtney. It's great to see you. And LaJessica, what's up? LaJessica saying hello to the chat up in here. We got OGs up here in the house. So tonight, this was kind of an impromptu too, where I just feel like every time when I get ready to say, okay, well, we've done all we can here, let's move on. I don't know. It just don't sit well. It don't sit well in my spirit. And now that, thank you, LaJessica says, smash the like button on your way in. Yes, I appreciate hitting and smashing the like button. Thank you so much, LaJessica. Let me see. Jessica got her. Yeah, she got the reach. Thank you so much for being a great moderator. What's up, JP6 in the hizzy? JP6 says, what's up, everybody? Hello, RN. Yes. Yeah, so tonight we're gonna I'm just grateful how all these things are tying in together, y'all. They're tying in together, and we can see how the Democrats are responsible for this. I hate to break it to y'all, so we're gonna do some Shanquella stuff, but I want to show y'all this one video. I'm gonna show it to y'all a little bit later. On this, it's old, it's dated back old, and the show where when they kind of our families, as the Black community and stuff started to kind of break apart, how that's why where we're in the position where we're at today, where we don't have any unity. The unity is not here. It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining together here, right? Like I said, strength in numbers, and to show how we got to come together, guys. We got to stick together, strength in numbers. So, without further ado, we're going to get started with, what I said I was going to do. I'm doing old stuff. And with this kind of just like a recap, just so we keeping everything fresh in our mind. And of course, pointing out the clues, right? Because a lot of times when they tell us these new stories, which is what they've been doing this whole time, and a lot of me feels like when we saw how they edited the Wikipedia page and stuff, it's like they're determined to squash this whole Shanquella thing. And I'm just like, it just makes me more determined to say, no. We're not going to pretend that we didn't see Shanquella get her neck broke you know, like all this stuff didn't take place and stuff, and that it wasn't acknowledged then. So for the FBI to come back, months later and say that it just lets me know that all this stuff is fake. Like they're just making up stories. They're making up stories and not realizing that, we was, listening to this from the very beginning. So I wanted to start. Okay, yeah. The secret of selling the Negroes. That's going to be the one of our topics. And let's see here. And Diane, all right, Diane Nash, my says, hello, Arwen and beautifuls. Keep it hot. Yes. Keep it hot just for Shanquella, Bernarda Robinson. Yep. And and Tamika, what's going on, Tamika? Tamika says hello and blessings. All right. I'm so grateful for y'all. She says hello and blessings to all beautiful souls here. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What's up, 80s baby? 80s baby in the house saying salute to the people. Yeah, and La Jessica, I'm feeling good here. So our first one, is this not the one? Our first one, we're going back like 6 and 7 months here. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is here. Wait. Okay, so here's our first one here. Gonna be, wait, I think let me just check the date on this other one here first. Because that's 5 months. Okay, this one had to be the first one here. This here is 7 months away. God damn it. All right, bear with me, y'all. Here I go. I got it. This is the one. All right, here we go. All right, so let me share the screen. Share the screen. Maybe got sound on right there. Here we go. All right. So this here is dated November 25th. It says arrest warrant issued in Mexico in Shanquella Robinson case. This here is WCNC News, right? So I'm assuming this is a reputable news source here. Jessica said, oh yeah, no, that's not it. That's JP6. What's up, JP6? JP6 saying what's up to the folks. JP6 said, this case will take a while. Yeah, that's true, y'all. I can always keep saying we need to be patient. All right, so let's go on back.
We'll start with the latest in the death investigation of a Charlotte woman in Mexico. The State Attorney General's Office of Baja California Sur.
All right, so he's saying the State Attorney General Office from Baja Sur. My first question is that when did Mexico get on board when just the week before this, like November 16th, 17th time, they were saying that no foul play, no hanky panky, no issue. Now all of a sudden the State Attorney General for Baja California Sur is filed charges, right? This was the first curveball that they threw us, right? And some of us, we probably oversighted this, that, hey, when did they, I thought they said they wasn't with it, right? Like it wasn't nothing there.
Has filed charges in the killing of Shanquella Robinson. The agency also says the extradition process is now starting. Robinson died while on vacation with a group of friends in Cabo last month. WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre spoke to an attorney about these charges.
The charge is for a femicide, which is the killing of a woman. Now, in the U.S., that would be equivalent to a homicide, and it could mean anywhere from 40 to 60 years behind bars. The attorney.
So, of course, when did they stop using the word femicide too? These were more clues, right? In the beginning, they was openly using this word. And look at this. They talking about this time and stuff. when did this cease? When did this cease? This is how we know that Mexico was just pulling our big toe. No, pulling our pinky toe. Pulling our pinky toe with the corn on it.
I spoke to says more charges could be filed in Mexico, but also here in the U.S.
Oh, that's why I was telling y'all. In the beginning, they kept saying that charges can be filed in the U.S. November 25th. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. That's what I'm saying. So all of a sudden, back in April, all of a sudden now there's nothing y'all could do about it. Y'all already said back here in November that this is some stuff you could do. All right, so let's pull back a little bit here. See what this lady say.
Says more charges could be filed in Mexico, but also here in the U.S.
Y'all hear that?
Any role that anybody played, they are likely to have to deal with some level of prosecution in Mexico as it relates to this, or potentially in the States, again, if any of those crimes happen on American soil.
Shanquella Robinson died after suffering a broken neck and severe...
Okay, so here we have the news showing this death certificate. The death certificate, right? The death certificate here in the news, November the 25th. This because this is the official document issued. Okay? The official document issued right here. And look what it says. Severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation, right? This here, official document issued.
Spinal cord injury in Cabo last month, according to her death certificate. Attorney James Exum says, despite various accounts of her death, that is the most reliable.
Wow. Okay. That is the most reliable.
With the medical side, and I do homicides, that's what you can rely on more than anything else, because that's just science.
Woo! What he said. Did y'all hear that? Science. So we got to be tripping on those autopsy reports. I'm pulling this back just a little bit more. Then I'm going to bring the document that explains the differences between the death certificate and the autopsy report. Let's see what this dude said one more time. Say that again, sir. One more again.
That is the most reliable.
With the medical side, and I do homicides, that's what you can rely on more than anything else, because that's just science.
The state attorney general's office of Baja California Sur opened the femicide case against...
He said that's just science, right? And that's what we do over here. We do math and science. Math and science. That's just science. The death certificate. Just science. We're going to finish it because only like two and a half minutes.
Against the person allegedly responsible for killing Robinson.
All right. Whoa. I'm sorry. Let me just pull back a little bit. Read it.
Opened the femicide case against the person allegedly responsible for killing Robinson.
Oh, it's in Spanish. I guess this is supposedly their case here. Femicide.
The agency filed an arrest warrant and extradition procedures to be carried out.
That type of offense that the person faces between 40 years minimum, 60 years maximum.
The investigation remains open as the agency works to identify anyone else involved in her death. Exum says more people could be prosecuted.
The fact that
I forgot about that.
left Mexico under the guise that she died from alcohol poisoning, and it's clear that it's not that, then once you've left Mexico and come here, that could be an issue, because you can do it by commission or omission.
Now, did y'all hear that? I'm gonna pull it back again. This here is showing the FBI. Y'all want us to show y'all some more stuff y'all can get these people on? Just like y'all did with Al Capone, y'all got him on the tax evasion. Y'all knew he was doing all kind of stuff. look at all y'all got a plethora of things to choose to choose from. Let me pull it back a little bit more. Listen to this here. Listen to what you say, Deacon. Y'all get these people on. Listen at this.
Poisoning, and it's clear that it's not that.
Wait. I just can go back enough. Let me go back a wee bit more.
More people could be prosecuted.
The fact that they left Mexico under the guise that she died from alcohol poisoning, and it's clear that it's not that, then once you've left Mexico and come here, that could be an issue because you can do it by commission or omission.
All right.
He adds any false statements made could be seen as obstruction of justice. The FBI Charlotte field office also opened its own investigation.
Ooh, okay. So here we go again with more proof that these people supposedly had opened up a case, right? So the death certificate was the document that was being that was spoken about. Not the autopsy from Mexico, none of that stuff, right? Because the death certificate is the only official document issued. It's like a birth certificate or passport, not the autopsy. And we just heard this attorney to support that statement, even though it's just a fact. It's like a driver's license is a fact, right? So let's finish this up. Wow. I love when they put their foot in their mouth by, having all this exposure here and then to try to say some new stuff, like the old stuff isn't just as easily repeated by just pressing play. And look what I can do. I can rewind it to make you say it again.
Going to come here, that could be an issue because you can do it by commission or omission.
He adds any
like when they came over to Mama house and told Mama that wasn't no fight, none of that kind of stuff. Here goes some more stuff right here. FBI, y'all taking notes on this? Are y'all listening?
False statements made could be seen as obstruction of justice. The FBI Charlotte field office also opened its own investigation.
So if there's evidence that there was some plan before they got to Mexico, yeah, that would be a problem. Once you're back on U.S. soil, to the extent that there's an investigation here and you lie about it, you conceal things, you try to run, those could all be things that create charges against you here.
I reached out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security on extradition efforts and have not heard back yet.
Wow. So they was being evasive back then too, this Homeland Security. All right. I really do enjoy getting these old ones back there. Regiment 65, what's going on? Says, wow, they still not arrested. I know, right? We're going on a year here. And not only are they not arrested, but they got the FBI saying that they don't even, have enough. At least Mexico is, lying to us, saying that they trying to start a case. They not even giving us the consideration to tell us a lie. At least lie to us. They're straight out saying that ain't nothing here. They straight gaslighting us. Yeah. So no arrest, no nothing. There's not enough evidence according to FBI. They say not. They ain't got enough. JP6 says they will get theirs one way or another. Yeah. All right, there we got some greetings for our Regiment 6 up in the house and the people. Diane Nash says, RN, we have to have continued patience. We all on they bumpers with Cafe of Knowledge. Also, we gonna get this justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yep. All right. I know y'all. Thank y'all so much because we do have to stay encouraged and all that good stuff. JP says, I want justice for Shanquella. Yeah, we do. What's up, PM Channel? PM Channel says, hello at All Around Natural Beauty RN. Moderators, all in the chat. All right. We do have some Stuff going there. Okay, so y'all started out with 7 months, right? So then the next one is going to be 5 months. Now watch this here. I said that was 7 months ago. 7 months ago, then all of a sudden, here we go. With 5 months later, all right?
New details tonight, though, on the Mexican investigation into the death of a 25-year-old Charlotte woman while in Cabo.
Mexico prosecutors discussed their investigation.
Wait.
We can share some new details tonight, though, on the Mexican investigation into the death of a 25-year-old Charlotte woman.
The Mexican investigation.
While in Cabo.
Mexico prosecutors discussed their investigation into Shanquella Robinson's case during a recent news conference. Robinson went missing while vacationing in Mexico with a group of friends. She was later found dead, suffering a broken neck and a severe spinal cord.
But do you see how even, like, why did he say that Robinson went missing? And went missing. She was never missing. So just slipping in this little wrong. I mean, what is this? I never heard. Why would he say that?
Injury. The state prosecutor from Baja California Sur says the investigation is ongoing and that he's looking to extradite an unnamed suspect to the United States. He says Mexican authorities are also investigating others who may have been involved beyond the single suspect.
There is no impunity in a case that is being fully investigated. Right now, it was important to obtain, above all, the judicial order of the presumed person responsible for these unfortunate events, but also other situations of criminal responsibility and complicity.
The prosecutor says the investigation is a collaboration with American authorities.
Ooh! Did y'all hear that? It was supposedly a collaboration back in January. What? Wasn't they just saying that Mexico was saying, work with us, or they were saying that they wasn't work, but now they saying the collab. I'm gonna pull back just a little bit, make sure that make sure I heard that correctly. That's why I like to hear the old stuff. He said collaboration. All right, let's go back here. And keep in mind, remember in the beginning, Mexico said, oh, no foul play, no hanky-panky here. No. Alcohol poison, alcohol intoxication. Now, all of a sudden, this guy is up here posing, right?
Important to obtain, above all, the judicial order of the presumed person responsible for these unfortunate events, but also other situations of criminal responsibility and complicity.
The prosecutor says the investigation is a collaboration with American authorities. He says federal investigators have requested interviews conducted by Mexican authorities of Robinson's friends who were with her on that trip.
What?
We can share some new details tonight, though.
Did y'all hear that? Right? So that means they lied to us at the end, right? They were supposed to have been already working together, right? It was a collaboration, right? Liars. These lies, 80s baby said, justice for Shanquella Robinson. Tamika says, all the love to you, queen. No one would have known until you spoke up. That's our mission. Speak up and speak out. Yes, that's what we do over here. We speak. And two, we have highlighted other victims over here too. Once we discovered, did our little research on this whole femicide thing, we started recognizing that first we was pointing the finger at Mexico. Mexico got their own problem with femicide, and they don't do nothing about their own people over there doing this thing. We was saying that. Then all of a sudden, we had to open our eyes and wake up to the fact that America, we got our own problems over here too, only we call it domestic violence, But women are being, taken out of here sent to the upper room, on a, daily basis here, and, stuff ain't happening. So we got our own problem over here, needless to say, here in America too. Yes. Thank you, Tamika, for reminding us of our mission, where we are speaking up and out for victims all over. Regiment 65 says they don't want nobody to worship God. Yes, okay. And that was one of the reasons why I was talking about the other day. Regiment 65 said they don't want nobody to worship God. They wanting everybody to worship the state. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Like the video showing how, they prohibited people from coming to church. And one of the reasons why I believe that was done, so, when this time is happening now, people aren't sensitive as much because you have been taken away from your faith, right? So you don't have that to secure. You don't have that security of that, the comfort of gathering together, and also having a moral compass. So, yeah, it's a good point, and I felt like, the churches were targeted for that very reason, to where now nobody is wanting to go back, right? They're using this COVID thing as an excuse not to go back. And then now, folks have been doing whatever it is they want to do. And, they pretty much made it almost a crime to, talk about God. It's really unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That's why I can't help but to like chuckle at it, because I'm like, is this real? We live long enough, you hear about things, but when the things start happening, that's the other great thing about being Gen Xers, that, was here when all this was being predicted, and now to actually be living through it, men dressing up as women and women dressing up as men, and all this stuff, right? All this stuff that's going on. All right, so those were the two that I wanted to show you on that. Let me just flip back over here. But yeah, it's pretty serious. Let me see. Was this Monday close section? Pretty serious what's going on here. Oh yeah, that's deep there. Ra, what's going on, Ra? Ra says, hey, Irene, everyone in chat. All right, I ain't seen you in a minute, Ra. What's going on? Sandra IG says, hey, Irene, everyone. What's going on? All right. Hey. Deidre says, evening, all. Everybody coming out. That's what I'm saying. Y'all see that name, Shanquella, and people's like, no, we coming in for her. One of the other things that I wanted to, that was coming up on my mind or my radar, think and talk about was, all right, so we haven't heard, we didn't really hear a whole bunch from Shanquella's father and stuff. And I just remember, maybe back in April or something, there was a news clip of him putting a headstone on Shanquella's burial spot, months later. So I was just thinking, like, there was no, why all these months later that no headstone, and then that the dad had to do it. I just was just curious about, like, what that was all about. And the fact that, I didn't see the dad at any of these marches and stuff. Like, I was also curious about that. Like, what is going on in that? It's a reason why our families are so divided and stuff like that too. And I think that it's a hindrance for us as a whole, right? That even in the midst of this, that we still have this division of this, energy towards, the other parent too. Like, I don't know. Pray. All right. right, so Ra is telling the people to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Ra. Appreciate that. All right, Denethia Jones says hello, all around at your beauty and moderators. Yes, thank y'all so much here. So we still coming in here, and yeah, I'm scared to do this stuff here. All right, so our next one is all right, so I wanted to show y'all this, like I said, my rationale or my reason to go back and trace, because at one point, like we did some great stuff here. When did the thing happen to where, is this what I wanted to do? No, it ain't. When did the thing happen where, okay, I think this is what I want to play. And then, no, it's not. I already played that. All right, so I'm gonna do my my old Negro video here. I think this got something to do with why there's this targeting of our community for this division and this separation and stuff like that. Like even the coming to the knowledge of this whole this liking or the lack of love amongst our people for one another and stuff, right? We need love. We need love. Because love will keep us together. Is this what I need to play here? No, it's not. All right, so I'm gonna play this here for the Gen X folks. Oh, here we go. Where am I moving? All right, so this here is kind of a, that might be kind of loud. All right, so this here, it's from 1954. A lot of times, see, when they put some years, like generation in between things, and then people don't talk about it, and then they take stuff out of books, or they make little changes and stuff like that, people forget the history, or they don't know about it, right? The young people, like, remember when I had showed y'all the young people that couldn't read the clock, right? Or some of the, it's crazy, right? But it only happens when things aren't passed down and they don't talk about anymore. So I just want to play some of this to show y'all how they I hate to talk like this and say they did these things, but these are strategic things that if it's like I was telling y'all about the flea in the glass jar, right? So we've been conditioned, y'all. We've been conditioned. So we need to break free from the conditioning if we want to be free and actually make some real changes. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in this whole little thing here. All right, so this here is titled "The Secret of Sailing the Negro." Sailing the Negro, selling the Negro, right? It's a secret to it. This was from 1954, right? Sit back, y'all, and try not to be like offended at, just like listen to the message, right? Get your popcorn out. All right, look here. So this here is a message, urgent message before they had the fax machines, but this is the fax machine. It's from Washington, D.C. 3:25 p.m. says the average Negro wage earner today gets 4 times more money than a few years ago. The Secretary of Commerce of the United States said today. So the government is showing here that they were targeting the Negroes. Look at here, 1954, right? Secretary of State saying, look here, these Negroes got some money. They got some money here. Says his income has increased more rapidly than the income of all other Americans. So in 1954, the Negro man income has increased more rapidly than the income of all other Americans. Of all. Y'all hear that? What happened to where the Negro man's income has decreased to where, I mean, like, what happened? Right? So this video is going to tell us something. It says, the Commerce Secretary said he pointed out the family income of the Negro is today, and then I can't see the rest of it.
You got the level on that, Joe? Hey, how's this video coming through? All right, the light's hot enough. Don't forget to dial in close. All right, be sure and stay clear of number 2 camera. And all set.
Subscribe.
Stand by.
Wow, well, look at here. Now, sometimes, you know, I was getting ready to skip over here, but look at here. Here's a clue. Look at y'all, a clue. All right. Presented with the cooperation of the Johnson Publishing Company. Boy, Johnson just been on they've been targeting us since the 50s. Look at there. Look at there. Publishers of Ebony, Tan, Jet, and Hue. Okay. Y'all young people probably bored to death with all this music and intro stuff. Back in the day, we used to do intros and all that stuff really meant something. Now y'all just want to skip right on to it. Y'all don't like no kind of foreplay at all. Right. That's nice. That's right. They said, we acknowledge with thanks the cooperation of the United States Department of Commerce in preparing this film. So look here, see the government's in that's the government there.
Hello, I'm Bob Trout. I've got a story here that I think is big, really big, because it's bound to have a terrific impact on business. I'm talking about a new market, a big new market, millions upon millions of new prospects with $15 billion to spend.
Wow, he said B with the B, he said billion.
A terrific impact on business. I'm talking about a new market, a big new market, millions upon millions of new prospects with $15 billion to spend.
$15 billion to spend. Now, how does he know that the Negro have $15 billion to spend? Let me hear.
Right, I said 15 billion. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is.
The surprising thing is that it's a fresh market, still full of opportunities. It grew up so fast got so big in a hurry that few of us realize its scope.
Wow.
Now, these days, nobody's likely to pass up chances to sell. And yet right here in our own front yard, there's a neglected market.
So do you think that they destroyed it all out of jealousy? Like, if in 1954 was the biggest community, growth financially, how is it so depressed today? We're going to have to do some more digging.
There's money waiting to be spent. To get the story of this market, to be able to tell you the secret of selling the Negro, we did a lot of digging. We talked to leading businessmen, to customers, and to salesmen. We went to Washington, D.C. We set up cameras and other key points around the nation. And out of this all, there emerged a story, the story of a new market. Yes, this is the market we're talking about, the new Negro family. Their name is Wells or Wilson, Smith or Brown or Alexander or Breen. They live in Chicago, in Atlanta or New York, in Detroit, St. Louis, Los Angeles, any one of 1,000 cities and towns. All over the country, families such as this are enjoying new prosperity. They have new interests, new standards of living.
Look at this.
Buying power they've never enjoyed before. They're good prospects for practically all types of goods and services. All too often, though, they're overlooked prospects. Why? Because of some good, valid reason? No. They're overlooked because of mistaken ideas.
Wow.
Because of out-of-date ideas about how the Negro lives and how he buys. The truth of the matter is that the Negro lives pretty much the same as other folks. He buys pretty much the same way, too. But just the same, a lot of old doubts and opinions keep cropping up over and over again.
I don't like to do business with Negroes. They're drifters. You can't keep track of them.
Yes, although a lot of people think that way, the truth is that 1 out of every 3 Negro families living in cities today owns its own home.
Wow. 1 out of 3 in 1954. What happened, y'all?
That figure comes directly from the United States Bureau of Census.
Maybe so, but Negroes are poor credit risks.
Not more of a credit risk than any other group. Actually, the Negro homebuyer meets his payments faithfully, often more faithfully than other race groups in the same economic level.
What? Did y'all hear that?
That's the information we got from people who ought to know, the National Association of Real Estate Boards.
Wow, these are reputable sources. Is this a dream? What the hell?
Well, maybe, but I've always heard that Negroes buy shoddy, poor quality merchandise.
No, it's just the other way around. According to leading researchers, in proportion to population and income, Negroes buy more quality products than any other comparable United States group. You see, there are a lot of confused notions about the Negro customer. But when you dig right down and find out about them, they just don't hold water. Negroes own homes. They meet their payments faithfully. They buy good brands of merchandise. So why let a lot of old-fashioned ideas hurt profits? Take a look at the real facts. Here in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, some amazing facts and figures about this new market have been uncovered. For a first-hand report, we would like to take you directly to the United States Department of Commerce to hear this story from the Secretary of Commerce himself. Here is the Honorable Sinclair Weeks, the Secretary of Commerce of the United States.
In the Department of Commerce, we are constantly alert to trends that mean a healthier national economy, better business for the nation as a whole. Recently, we have been interested in a rising young market, one that represents a huge potential for goods and services. I'm referring to the new Negro market.
So, look, if we were earning this kind of money, do you see how it's, we were more Republicans, y'all? We weren't just sitting around waiting for handouts. Said the fastest growing, they said the fastest of all. The fastest of all. That was us back in 1954. I mean, I know that sounds like a long time to some of you young people, but look at how, something happened to change this. This is like Back to the Future when Biff got that that almanac. Let me stop. Some of y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about.
The tremendous buying power of this group is backed, of course, by an increased earning power. The average Negro family's income is at a record high. In fact, since 1939, it has increased more than the average income of all other Americans.
Wow.
Just take a look at a few figures. An official Department of Commerce report shows that at least 1/3 of the Negroes living in cities earn from $2,000 to $5,000 a year. Today, the average Negro wage earner brings home a paycheck 4 times larger than the one he collected in 1939. As a whole, the Negro market has a total income of about $15 billion every year.
Wow, see, they counting our pockets on that. Like, wait a minute, these Negroes aren't so bad. So, if we weren't so bad, then they have figured out a way to still get this money, but
and after taxes, Negro families still have many billions of dollars to spend.
Wow.
Here is a buying power that cannot help but have a tremendous effect on our national economy and on business prosperity in general. When these dollars are spent for a wide range of goods, services, and employment, business everywhere is bound to feel the impact.
This new buying power has resulted in a class Negro market, a profitable, above-average income group of consumers. For example, the nation's largest newspaper and magazine research organization, Daniel Starch and staff.
He said above average. So when did we get below average?
Reports these significant figures. More than 51% of the readers of Ebony magazine have a record player in their homes. Almost 64% own a television set. And almost 78% enjoy the convenience of an electric refrigerator.
Look, he got the drinks up in there. Woo-hoo. But yeah, that's one thing. Black folks, we gonna have the stuff. So.
It is also a fact, and this is from the magazine The Food Field Reporter, that Negroes spend almost $3 billion a year for food alone.
Wow. we wasn't eating chitlins and hog moms, huh?
Per capita, they buy more cosmetics, drugs, and toiletries than anyone else in the country. And their children are better educated, too, because since 1930, enrollment in Negro colleges is up 2,500%.
Wow! What happened, y'all? See? Y'all let them put the jar back on, right? And people stop doing this much. Look here. Look at this young man working hard, studying.
But really, to recognize the importance of this class Negro market, we must realize that something has been happening economically in our country. People are on the move. The population is shifting. The makeup of metropolitan populations today is different than it was just a few short years ago. To give you a better idea of what we mean, we set up several cameras, candid cameras, in a number of shopping locations. Take a look at these shoppers.
Oh, look at that. These black people mixing all up in there. They're not on one side of the street. Them little white people there. There's a black lady there.
Notice what a large proportion of them are Negroes. What's the reason? It's simply this. Negro families are moving into the cities where there are more jobs.
This is when they was leaving about the South, going off into these cities and stuff.
Opportunities. Here they find occupations with more prestige and security, jobs that pay more money. As a result, Negro families today often make up the largest part of Central City consumer prospects.
Wow.
A shoe store in Chicago's Loop, for example, reports that more than 50% of its customers are Negroes. In another case, a drugstore located at a transfer point in a non-Negro neighborhood finds that its Negro customers total 25%.
But look, it's clearly more white people out there than black people. So I'm not sure how great that says about, I mean, if we're spending that much, but I guess we have always been known for spending a lot, right? Look, that's a lot.
The trend is plain. The new Negro families today are moving into more populated areas, to the cities, where there are more stores, more buying opportunities.
Oh, this makes sense. Because I know, this is when folks started migrating, leaving up out of the South, going to, places like that, all the cities that they mentioned. Interesting.
Since 1940, in San Francisco alone, the Negro market has increased by 89%. In Chicago, by 81%. Houston, Texas, 45%. Philadelphia, 50%.
We was right there, y'all running stuff. What happened? How are we? We should have been in charge of everything with the position that we were in. What happened?
The impact of this new buying force is so tremendous that actually in 14 major United States markets, a product cannot be number one without Negro support.
What?
A product
They said a product cannot be number one unless it has Negro support. Move that back just a little bit.
Houston, Texas, 45%. Philadelphia, 50%. The impact of this new buying force is so tremendous that actually in 14 major United States markets, a product cannot be number.
Look at that, y'all. New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Detroit, New Orleans, Memphis, Birmingham, St. Louis, Atlanta, Houston, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. A product cannot be number one unless
for one without Negro support.
Wow.
A product must have the backing of this big new buying power to be a leader in the field. What do you have to sell? Chewing gum or cars? Toothpaste or transportation?
And we just gave all that power away, or we didn't harness it. I think we still are in this position, but we're not aware of it. And it's so splashed out because we're not together. So I'm saying, y'all, is strength in numbers.
Whatever it is, here are millions of prospects. And these prospects are everywhere. Negro customers can no longer be pigeonholed. They cannot be classified as prospects who trade only in certain stores, certain neighborhoods. Today, Negroes shop downtown. They shop in supermarkets.
She don't look like she's trying to go through the back door or nothing like that. And it looked like the white lady was, happily giving her change and making the transaction here. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times, they may paint a picture a little bit differently than what stuff really is, right? That looked pretty peaceful to me.
They shop in small neighborhood stores. They'll buy from anyone who wants to sell to them. But we all know that before you can sell to customers, you've got to get to know them. You must understand something about them. What do the Negro customers buy? Why do they buy? How do you sell to them?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find
hear
out.
the opinion of men who have spent a lifetime studying the buying habits of customers the world over. Here is what sales psychologists have to say about selling to the Negro.
Oh.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now,
Woo! The secret of selling it's funny, but I'm like, okay, this was really happening, right? They really 1954.
there's nothing unusual about that. People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits. Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits.
Wow.
3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction.
It's here.
To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand.
Uh-oh. They had our tickets back in 1954. They said most Negroes buy by a brand. That is he lying? Is he lying?
Ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands.
Wow.
You wonder why?
Yeah.
Well, listen to what this customer is thinking.
That last hat I bought just didn't hold up at all.
You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth.
Wow.
Buying by brand. That's the first important Negro buying habit. Now for the second.
Okay.
The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware.
So this, lately I've been hearing, let me make myself big real quick. Stuff saying about, this critical race theory is, not not legit, or, all this stuff is kind of made up. Well, when I see this, and the white people look like they was, happy to make sales and stuff. So it didn't seem like she was trying to say, no Negroes allowed in here to do any shopping. I don't know, so, and then, like I said, this here was made in 54, so, I don't know, grain of salt here.
But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. Listen to her thoughts.
My, isn't it beautiful? I can hardly wait to show it to Sally and Joan.
Keeping
It's
up
a
with the
well-known
Joneses.
fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made. So remember, the Negro buys quality merchandise. That's the second important point. And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a Negro customer.
Then we'll move on.
When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
There's a reason for this reaction. Again, because he's had experience with cheap merchandise, the Negro resents being offered a substitute. He wants to be sold on quality, not price.
Wow.
The Negro buys by brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer.
Wow.
Another point. The Negro family does things together.
Wow.
As a group.
Woo.
The
Did y'all hear that? These were key points. He said we do things as a family, as a group. And move this back, son, because we definitely ain't doing this today. All right. Listen.
brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer. Another point. The Negro family does things together, as a group. The family works as a unit. It lives as a unit, and it buys as a unit. When you sell to one member, you many times sell to all. It's also true that many places of entertainment are still closed to the Negro. So he spends more of his money for the things that are available to him, often for items that are considered luxuries.
Oh, okay. So he's saying that things are still closed off. So there is some segregation going on here.
Another trait of the Negro market is the fact that it is a pre-sold market. We know that the Negro buys by brand, and he buys the brands that he knows something about. Where does the Negro buyer get this information? We know that Negro customers are turning more.
Wow. Y'all see that? Look at this targeting.
And more to the publications that are tailored specifically to their needs, that give them the news and the information that they want to read about. Many leading businessmen and companies already know this. That's why so many of them are taking this direct, sure route of reaching the Negro customer. The vice president of advertising of the Gruen Watch Company, for example, says this.
In many important cities throughout the United States, Negroes are important customers of the credit jeweler. Therefore, it seemed that Ebony magazine would be a very important advertising medium for us.
Wow. 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 Anybody have any clues on how we went from that to what's going on with us now? I mean, some key points to me was him saying, you know, that we did things as a group, as a family. We did things together. When did we stop doing it, man? That's some rough stuff here. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. We need to come back here together. That's why we've been using the umbrella of Just for Shanquella to do this, right? This is what's bringing us all together, because there's been some division with us, right? With this whole lack of appreciating the other person, right? We got some issues with with one another. So anyway, I just wanted to show that there, because this all is kind of showing how our foundation, because I know some people were making comments saying that, you know, if Shanquella was a different color, different nationality, that, you know, that we would be getting some justice and all this stuff. But I remembered, you know, the Natalie Holloway case. Like, she was white and took forever, you know, she's just barely getting justice too. So not sure if a lot of this is like distractions, right? So I will be sitting around thinking how, you know, we're not getting it just because of the color of our skin or something like that. We could be losing precious time on doing other things because maybe that's not necessarily the truth. It's what they're trying to highlight, right? If that makes any sense. Y'all with me out there? What's going on? Y'all said, we know there was false statements made. Okay. All right. So then let's go on back to these false statements. Let's go on back to these here false statements. All right. Yeah. And so they were saying that something could be done about these false statements. Yeah. So what I was talking about, the dad. So I want to play the two videos from the dad. It's only about like two or three videos that he's done and out there and stuff. And then I was just concerned about, like, you know, a lot of money had came in that I just found that it was, you know, kind of heartbreaking that Shanquella, you know, gravesite went unmarked for, you know, some time there until the dad you know, he was there by himself. There was no big crowd, no big nothing for him. And he had to put the marker down there. Like, you know, nobody else was concerned about, you know, there was no marker on her grave. Yeah. So I don't know. I was, you know, a little, it was something on my mind. JP6 says, I hope they get justice served. Yes, we do. I hope also. Let me just kind of scoop down here a little bit. See, Denithia says, in the beginning, they originally said that Shanquella was missing because the father and uncle had to look for her body. So not missing as in kidnapped. Okay, thank you. I remember that too. So just on that note, let's go ahead and see. Where's that? Is it here? Yeah, we ain't gonna play the whole thing. That's kind of long. All right, so let's see here. Is it? Yes, thank you, Denithia. I was curious to say like that. I do remember that he said they had to find her body, you know, look for where she was at and stuff like that. And again, that was Dad coming through, you know, solo tip again. Denithia says biblical number 7 is completion and 8 is the number of new beginnings. We are starting something new in this case for justice. Yeah. Oh, because we're on the 8th month. Okay. I like that. That sounds very hopeful. Sandra says the reporter might mean her father was looking for. Okay. Thank y'all. Y'all clearing that up for me. Y'all be reading my mind too. Thank you so much. Says the reporter might mean her father was looking for her after he heard she was unalive there. That's strange. He had to call around. Yeah. And like I said, I think they did that too because to make it more difficult, right? They were trying to make it more difficult for them to find because they knew that once the body was discovered, if once anybody put eyes on it, you know, the real cause of death is going to, you know, come out. So let's just hope that maybe they don't have the money to get the body back, or you know, it's gonna take a while, or some kind of way. Let's just make this whole thing just disappear. What's up, Ladime Sweetie says, hey, all about Natural Beauty, Mars, and chat. Thank you, RN, for not letting this case disappear from the spotlight. Just because we are not hearing as much as we used to, our thoughts are with her family. Salute. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's true. And then two, it just hurts to see how we here, the Americans, have, you know, really been, you know, from the beginning, like being jerks to us, right? This is so wrong because they have all these videos showing that they was supposedly on the case and then nothing. So let's see here what this is New Dad here. I want to say this is the one where he's putting the marker on her grave. All right, so it's only a few minutes here. I'm just, you know, I'm curious the whole the connection with the dad. Like what's going on? Why is he being left out? Like why this division, you know? Like I said, none of the rallies or the marches or any of those things. I never saw Dad at any of those things, you know. I was just curious to why. It's almost like I'm not sure, are they like not including him on the stuff or what? And then why did he have to, you know, put the money together to get a marker for her grave? What happened to all of the GoFundMe money? Like, you know, and the funeral looked so special and stuff, like no marker at that time. I don't get it. All right, so here we go. Raw video. Shanquella Robinson's father addresses latest on death investigation.
It's just sort of a little emotion standing here talking about this. It's on back order. But a marker came. So I brought you all out here today to let y'all know that, her mark is down now,
Wait a minute, let me see.
I can come, me and my mother, my family.
All right. So this was
I can come up here and talk
April 17th.
Because at first I didn't know I didn't even know she was over there.
Wait a minute, what? How do you not know? What? Let me go back a little bit.
I can come, me and my mother, my family.
Me, my mother, my family.
I can come up here and talk to her. I know where she at. Because at first I didn't know I didn't even know she was over there. I talked to her that Wednesday before she passed transition.
Oh, he talking about over there in Mexico.
I get a phone call from my mother saying that she transitioned over in Mexico. Then I get a phone call. The only thing I know, she talked to Cleo Cook, supposed to be her best friend, 2 times on the phone. I ain't know nothing about that. I just felt as a father that the way I love her, the way I raised her, that I should have had an opportunity to give her that father advice or my opinion about going over there.
This sounds like, like maybe there was, some keeping away or something like that. Like there was some, I think like he's being kept out of something.
In which I didn't. And I know for a fact, from the bottom of my heart, we all might not even be standing out here if I had that opportunity to speak to her, even though she's 25 years old. She grown, but still at the same time, I'm her protector until she get a husband. When she get a husband, then he become a protector. But as this father standing right here, I feel like I should have been her protector, and I was denied that. What would you have said? I would have asked her who she going with.
But in hindsight, we can all say what we would have, should have done. And like I said, y'all, I'm the parent of 3 adult children. When your children are grown, they're adults. You may say that you would have done those things, but these kids are grown. They're doing their thing. They're not asking you or, And sometimes if you are going to be thinking that you're still going to be guiding them, it's going to make them not want to talk to you about something. Because they're like, I'm not trying to get lectured. Kids, especially adult children, it's a different type of parenting that is rendered with adult children. It's not the same. You can't go around trying to dictate or drive their lives. You can't do that. They're not going to talk to you. I know, because like I said, I got 3 of them. I've been through it before.
How well do you know these folks? Then I would have came back and said, well, who their parents are? Well, before you go, let me meet these parents. Let me meet these folks.
You ain't meeting no grown people.
Always been like that ever since she started beginning having a lot of friends.
Okay.
Not trying.
Law says it depends on the type of headstone. It can take time to make it. Okay, that's fair. Thank you. Ty Lieber says, interesting that Pops didn't attend. Yeah, I felt the same way, Ty. And I felt the same way. But thanks y'all for all this clarity and stuff there. I appreciate it. Yep. All right. Let's see here. Ladam Sweetie says there is no statute of limitation for unaliving someone. That's true. The FBI knows how easily a case can get screwed up if the evidence is not open and shut. I don't believe they're giving up on this case. The only reason why I feel like they trying to go that route about giving up is because that's what they've said. If they didn't feel that way, then why say there's not enough case? Just say this is ongoing, that we still looking off into it. But to say y'all not doing nothing, I don't know.
And to be in her business is just the point of making sure she okay and the folks that are around her.
Yeah.
Who she keeping company with. Because everybody can say you your friend, but they really not.
Okay.
It all depends on what you got and how you carry yourself. And she carried herself very well. Because that's how I taught her.
Yeah.
The respect, morals. No, I never met her. Didn't know nothing about her. You know, only thing I know, her mother said they went to school with her. And she's going to tell me, told me, well, you don't know them. So I said, do you know them? She said, I know of them.
Oh.
I'm seeing in the interview, you told your lawyer, Sue Robinson, that you just know one of them. That was Khalil Cook. So that tells me right there.
Why he said your lawyer. So it's obvious that they're not, united on this whole thing here, which is sad.
We both was in the blind as a mother and a father. We both in the blind. We both didn't even know these folks. So.
Can we start last week, or about more than a week ago? I'm sure you heard the information, got the information that there would be no prosecution by the United States Attorney's Office.
Well, yeah, but the case is still open though. So God is still moving. My faith is so strong in the mustard seed that He will prevail.
What does that look like to you?
Patient, like I always been. Just like y'all standing out here, I was patient while y'all set up and everything. I always been patient.
But I mean, what does that look like as far as you said you're still hopeful for what?
Justice will be served. Justice will be served. It's gonna be served. It's gonna be served.
You sound confident.
So what does that justice look like?
This just gonna look like they're gonna get what they deserve to get to them. You just don't take a life.
Sandra says they are trying to divide us, but the masterminds like you are in and other bloggers is on the case. They're gonna get a surprise. RN, did you get email from Star? I don't know who Star is. I'm checking now. I don't remember getting no email from no Star though. Let me see here. Let me see here. Let's see here. All right. And Ladam Sweetie says, I guess the income of the Negro did increase because being paid something is better than slave wages. But no, Ladam, they were saying that they was big balling. Like they, they was, we was out earning, we was doing some stuff. And them Negroes was looking pretty uppity, like, they was buying fine china. So, the Negro was doing the thing. So, is he making more than slave wages? Ladam says, all around attribute RN, how far back did you have to go to dig that film up? The algorithm is feeding me this stuff. That's why I'm like, it just popped up on my my stream here, on my feed rather. Yeah. It's just surprising to me. No, ask Star to resend it. I don't see it here. But yeah, so to me it just kind of encouraged me to be like, wow, look at the thing that I got out of was like, look at how our family was tight then. We was a unit and we was known to be a unit. Now look at us. Look at us. Like we, known to not have any unity, to not have any care for each other. we have the men talking poorly about the women. We have the women talking poorly about the men. You know, families are not together. I mean, it's just, you know, and look at how powerful we were together back then, y'all. You know, we had money in our community. You know, we was doing things. So do y'all see how there's, you know, strength in numbers, right? And there's some, you know, strength in, you know, unity. y'all with me on that? Huh? A little bit. Beneath it says, Sandra Aji, I think it was the consulate who reported Shanquella's demise as a femicide. Oh. What? We saw the one video. I think it said who.
They brutally beat her.
Yeah.
She didn't agree to fight whatsoever. She did not agree. That's not her. You know, she did not agree to fight. You know, she was going over there, enjoy somebody's birthday, one of the she graduated with. That's what she thought she was going to do, and then enjoy, take photos, you know, put them on her phone, come back and enjoy, and you know, talk about it to her other friends. You know. Then main thing, you know, she got the little kids, the little girls and boys that she plait hair, braid their hair. Now they wonder where Shanquella is, because Shanquella didn't got adapted to her customers, her clients, you know, the mothers, the fathers, how well she doing their daughters and sons braiding their hair, and they proud of Shanquella doing their hair, and how they, you know, she got them looking, you know, stealing something in them that they can become this, they can become that. They might, one of the little girls might want to follow her footsteps.
Yeah.
So right now, that crush from them six. And then the mother and the parents, the mother and the father's old parents, or those six individuals, don't have no decency to call up, interview one of you all on the news and say, Mr. You know, Mr. Robinson, or the Robinson family, we sorry about the loss of your daughter.
Now he's saying this in April 17th, y'all. So them people still ain't called. He still ain't got nothing from the families, from none of them people.
Whatsoever. Their life is still moving around, you know, walking around here like they enjoy life.
Yeah.
But this father right here struggling each and every day. You know, I cry every day. It's a struggle for me.
Yeah.
Struggle.
Have you had any contact with those six?
No, not whatsoever. Now, ain't no need of me reaching out. You know, I'll let God do what he got to do. But I tell you this, they're not going to get away.
They're not getting away.
What is your message to them if they are watching?
My message to them, you know, why can't y'all just go ahead and tell the truth? Why y'all up and left her like that? Because if you would have stayed, this father right here would have made sure y'all got back to the United States whatsoever. Any of her friends that she grew up with, they would tell you that her dad took care of them when they was with Shanquella just like they was mine from day one. And I'm still the same father that she was, that I raised her, that I am is today, and she gone, you know.
Mr. Robinson, there is a discrepancy, well, I guess discrepancy is the best word, between Mexican authorities saying, you know, we have, this was what they call femicide, and they have a warrant for one of the people.
All right, it's kind of low, but the reporter's asking him, he's talking about the femicide now, the discrepancy.
On that trip with Shanquella, however, the United States attorney is disputing the autopsy that they did on Shanquella. Does that, any of that, does that concern you?
I'm frustrated about it. To the utmost. I'm frustrated. I just can't understand why, you know, the autopsy that I got back saying that her neck and spinal cord was broke, because
which you got back the death certificate. See how they got the family and stuff confused on it? They treating us like we dummies, y'all, like we don't know the difference, like we can't do no research to discover, to find out that there's a difference between the death certificate and the autopsy.
When I talked to the young lady, Miss Elizabeth, who over there, I asked her before she even sent her body back to me. I asked her, I said, Miss Elizabeth, how my daughter died? She said, Mr. Robinson, your daughter's neck and spinal cord was broke. I said, you kidding? I just started crying.
And he's saying that he got this information before the body even got back.
Because they're saying that the Mecklenburg County medical examiner is saying that they didn't even make visual confirmation of that.
Well, I can't understand that. I don't know who the medical examiner who did her autopsy on her body, but I would like to know how many years.
Now see, even the family can't imagine how they can come up with that. That's why I'm thinking they might just be telling us this bologna sandwich story, y'all, just to, I don't know why they would tell us this, but I don't know.
Experience that he have in doing an autopsy on a body, or where did he get his degree from? Because
obviously it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Very frustrating because this lady Elizabeth, that's what she do. When people die over in Mexico, she get the body, do the paperwork and everything.
And when's the last time you had communication like that? How often
Wow.
communication with the authorities down in Mexico?
Not so often. She'll send me a text message, how I'm doing and everything, but the case, everybody still is pulling for Shanquella justice down there in Mexico, Cabo. I mean, the Contier is saying that Shanquella didn't fit well in.
See, they're telling him that lie too. That Shanquella didn't fit in well and all that stuff. But how come the Mexican authority back in January, when they was all on the news talking about they was, taking on the case and stuff, how come they never kept up with the people? And then when Sue Ann Robinson went out there, how come Daniel De La Rosa wasn't dealing with her then? Why didn't they deal with it? Huh? They forgot about that, right? Sandra says, at Danita, did I do that? Oh, just like RN is showing this movie and us being called Negro, we need to make note of what's going on now with Black people. In 1953, a lot of my cousins bought homes. Yes. And two, it's significant that you said this about the names, right? Because back then we used to be called Negro. Then we were colors. We colors before Negroes. Coloreds, Negro, Blacks, then African American, right? These are just more ways to keep the confusion and to break up the unity, right? Because things appear to be different. All strategic, y'all. Ladame Sweet Tea says things like reading and banks wants to keep and make money off of our deposits, but not wanting to lend us money to buy homes is what happened. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Because if this wouldn't have happened to slow us down, we'd have been on top of it. But we need to become aware of our power, how much power we have, and how much we're just like leaving on the table by not, uniting. Denethia says at Deidre, the FBI is on a whole different hype when it comes to this case. Trust, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. I believe you, and I'm going to have faith that there is really, stuff happening here. The Dime says, just because this guy is stating that Black paychecks are larger than before, it doesn't point out that it's still significantly lower than the average white person's paycheck. That's a good point. That is an excellent point. Says, Yeah. And it's just sad too that they was targeting on how to get our money. Sandra says, remember the government put herbs in Black communities and it began to break up families. Yeah, because it was pretty interesting that one of the points that the announcer pointed out was that we worked as a family. We was a unit. If you sold to one, you had to sell all, right? So breaking up the family, I believe, is key to the downfall of it, right? Because that was one of the strong points that that was mentioned in that story there. Denethia says, I am 61 years old and the 7th youngest child. My parents had 7 kids by age 28 too. They bought their first home in 1968 and we still have it. All right. Rent started at $13 a month. They are still married 66 years. That's beautiful. Congratulations to your family for that wonderful story. All right, so let's go ahead and see. We're about done on this here.
My main objective is this: if nothing didn't happen, why they just up and left? You came that Friday. You supposed to stay about a couple of days. But you're gonna just up and leave that next day and get back on the plane and come back over here like it wasn't nothing. You're gonna just leave her over there?
Yeah.
That don't even sound right. Friends just don't do that. Friends don't do that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm hearing from the information that I get from the news and people text me. So they kick me out of it. So,
oh, y'all hear that? He said they kicked him out. That's messed up.
Don't tell me,
Can I get you to talk? You mentioned the GoFundMe page a little bit earlier.
Uh-oh. They talking about the GoFundMe page. Here we go.
Yes.
Do you want to? It sounded like you don't really have. You said you don't want to be involved with the GoFundMe page.
I never did want to be involved in the GoFundMe from day one because there wasn't nobody arrested. I just want justice. Now the GoFundMe page is, it's sitting there. I mean, I guess they're using for the best ability of our daughter case, but still at the same time, this father right here, I'm gonna let God do the work because it's gonna get done. God said you trust in Him, He ain't gonna fail you, and He ain't gonna forsake you. And so that's how I'm gonna stand, y'all. I'm gonna continue to stand.
Right. So that's it on that. Wow, LaDime Sweet Tea says, I'm a baby boomer and Black people were more unified than we are today. We invented and created many original forms of income like rap music, true, but we always let the white man dig his claws in it. Wow. Yeah, heartbreaking. Now, again, that's why I say it's so important that we kind of understand this psychological entrapment, that we have been subjected to. Denethia Jones says, LaDame, sweetie, we are the ones that taught their children how to read and write. Loving McDonald's because they support all African Americans and the ones who had first inventions. LaDame says drugs and such infected our communities in the 70s and such. Yeah. What's up, Moni Fantima? Says greetings, all. Yeah. It's super sad, y'all. Our situation that we in. Super sad. Super sad. All right, so let me see here. Back on our Gen X. So again, do y'all see why it's super important that we unite? Because look at how much power that we had back then. If we had some self-awareness of what we had there and did more strategic spending and stuff like that and figure out a way to get back to that, Another key point he said is the fact that they do everything as a family. So that must mean we had like family businesses. You know, we worked together as a family. You know, kids was doing their part. You know, Denethia says all around natural beauty, strength in numbers. Yes, that's what I'm saying, y'all. That's what I'm saying. So if we got that kind of buying power and stuff, imagine, y'all. Imagine. Says Denethia says at La Dame, sweetie, that whole part it became a poor man's downfall everywhere. Wow. The Dime says we were a more dignified race during that era. I know. I just saw in our posture and how we, you know, you can just see. I remember the beautiful brownstones in Harlem, New York. I remember the beautiful park that was across the street from my building. Now, no place is safe. Yes. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. While we sitting up here focusing on all this racism, we are the ones that's making it not safe. And I would even say, you know, the men are the ones that's making it not safe. How did you get from being, you know, this leader and, you know, working together as a family to now you're terrorizing, you know, you guys are terrorizing our communities and no place is safe. You're absolutely right, Ladam, sweetie. Absolutely right. Ernie says this video was not done in the South. Yeah, we saw those. That's why you're saying that it was like that. But I don't know. I feel you on that, Ernie. But like I was saying, too, look how different things are, right? So maybe that's part of the glass jars for us to feel like how they want us to feel about the South. Ladam says the United States is a corporation, not a country. Wow. And you saw that because the government was the one that zeroed in, right? They sent out a message, right? That came through the facts of that time, right? We interrupt this program to bring you this very special report. The Black family has income, has money to be gotten. This is how you sell to the Negro. I'm sorry, Negro. The Negro is coming up. Don't overlook that. That's money out there for you people. Right? Y'all feeling it? Let's see. Danica says, I think that is why African Americans get caught up in the wrong lives because of the material things. Yeah. And two, us not sticking together as a family. That's real big. Ladam says at Sandra, every time we get something, we sell it to another race. Yeah. We are a selfish people that lack unity. Our music, inventions, everything. We pimp ourselves out. Preach. Preach. That's all I can say on that one. Denethia says we did things as a village. Yes. These are key points here. Our generation did not continue to hold the family together as our parents did. By my parents having 7 kids, all of the parties were at our house. Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah. And to see, it hurts. Sandra says some final resting place have certain months and seasons to put stones, but a marker should have been there. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know. You see, Ladam says, it's crazy how this white guy is narrating this movie like he knows the mind of the Negro. This guy thinks he's doing the Negro race a favor by humanizing us. I know. Talking about us like we were some, gorilla species, and it's just like the gorillas are capable of eating bananas with one hand. I feel you. It was yeah. Do not overlook the Negro family's buying power. The Negro is like anyone else. He puts his pants leg on one at a time, just like you. Let's see here. The Negro poop stinks exactly like the white. Let me see. Okay. All right. Denethia Jones says, I think everyone is staying away from the family's dynamics until justice is served. I think questioning the family's relationship is too much right now. Agreed. Let's see here. He said he didn't want anything to do with the GoFundMe money. Yeah. Denethia says, Dad is broken and totally reliant on his faith in God and his immediate family, his mom and brother. Yes. Sandra says, I believe Shanquella's mom and Shanquella had insurance. Oh. LaDame says, it is sad that in this country you have to keep race as an issue in everything. Wasn't it just last month that woman in Florida unalived a black woman by shooting her through a closed door? Not just. Yeah. That's true. There's times when our adult children do things we don't want them to do. I agree, yeah. And the key word here is adult. Adults, you see. Ross says, I remember him saying before that he wasn't told about certain things. He showed up the next one they did after that. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then like I just heard him say here too, they're not telling him anything. And then they barely told us, right? Up until the night of when they was actually saying the exact time and place of the place, place of the rally, So, and that was one of the things that I, thought was, they didn't really, it wasn't as organized as, I would have hoped it would have been. Yeah. And see, LaDame says, I am Bernard Robson doesn't seem like the kind of person that likes being on the spotlight. Yeah. Yeah. LaJessica says, I always break down when he speaks. Yeah, I know, because you can feel his, pain. And yeah, it's very painful. Denethia says, he said, your lawyer, because Salamandra and Tequila are the ones that hired Ben Crump and Sue Ann Robson. Ah, okay. Thank y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be helping me out here. Let's see. LaDame Sweet Tea says the FBI said the same thing about Tim Norman's case, and although the sensationalism of the case died down, they still kept the key parties under observation for 4 years. Finally, the shooter blabbed. Thank you, LaDame. I appreciate, you keep, giving us hope on that too, because that is true. So, yeah. Yeah, it will be hard for me to believe that they won't do any type of justice, especially with so much visual evidence that was out there that we all saw, and the hearing of the death certificate. Denethia says at Coca-Cola and Pepsi, good to know the information. Okay, yeah, earlier LaDame had said that Coca-Cola was for the white people and Pepsi was for black folks. And I kind of remember that too a little bit growing up in the 70s. That yeah. And now, it just took over all of it. LaDame Sweet Tea says, I think the family should fire Ben Crump because this man is no giving the attention this case needs. Crump is trying too many cases at once. Yeah. I know, because I haven't, after the rally on May 19th, what's the new something? What what's the next, what was said or done? Sandra says, the blogger Star from Unlife is trying to present Congress with Shanquella bill for a femicide law in the U.S. He was on Shank Rock's channel today. And he sent emails out to bloggers. I didn't get one. let me look again, but I don't think I got one. Let's see here. Star. I don't know. I don't remember getting one. Let's see here. Elizabeth only read to Mr. Robinson what was on the coroner's report. Right, but the news and everyone was reporting and showing after they had got access to the public, death certificate, the official document that is issued on there, right? And no one disputed that. Like Shanquella's family never disputed the death certificate's cause of death. So why did they do additional autopsies? Especially Mexico, when Mexico originally said that there was no evidence of foul play. So why do we have Mexico stating that they did an autopsy the very same night? The same night that Shanquella passed, Mexico was doing an autopsy when they hadn't even spoke to the family yet, right? Let's see, Denise says, I am called Negro on my certificate. I owe the IRS this year. They wanted me to pay 2 times the amount I owe just in case I owe next year. I told them no, I would pay all now because they would get interest. Limitless relaxation. Hey, says we should not have let George Zimmerman get away with killing Trayvon Martin. Really, Carolyn Bryant lying on Emmett Till. We must unite. Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Justice for A.J. Owens. Thank you, Limitless Relaxation. Appreciate you. It said, Deidre says, I see that I'm no longer invited in your chat. What? So goodbye. Who? What is going on? So goodbye. Good night. Why are you not invited? What is going on in here? Who is bothering Deidre? Why is Deidre feeling like she's not welcome in the chat? Y'all need to stop. Let me see here. At Deidre, what? Of course you are wanted and needed in the chat. Who told you differently? Exactly. That's what I'd like to know too. Let me see here. And that's why in the past I would just take up all these wrenches, because some of you are using these wrenches to be destructive here in the chat. And so sometimes, since I don't know who the person is, I just take out whoever was on duty, and so it don't be nothing personal. Just trying to figure out who is doing this. Who is harassing Deidre? Because I don't care if people have different agreements and stuff like that. That's not what the wrench is for. Everybody have a right to say how they feel here and stuff like that. And I don't need or want anybody being banned from the chat or timed out and all that good stuff for just saying something different that you don't agree with just because you have a wrench. So whoever's doing that need to knock it off. And see, Sam said, They calling us by that chemical name now. Melanin, I think I spelled it right. Yeah. All right. So I apologize, Deidre, whoever is the one doing that. Like I don't go for that at all. So I don't even know who's been doing it, but like I said, it's happened, and in the past, what I've done, which is something I didn't want to do because I have put out those scriptures where it says, "Let the tare grow with the wheat." So that is to mean that it's not your job to sit here and try to silence people or all that good stuff. So I don't appreciate whoever treated Deidre like that. Let's see. Sandra said, "Oh, I already said that." All right. So we got through all these not little, but we've gotten through all these things, chats here. Let's see here. I'm probably going to do a couple of quick shorts on why we need to vote so we won't forget. This is what it's all about, y'all. Let's see here. Why we need to vote. Okay, here we go. This is another old one. It's so important to go back to the old stuff, right? Because they always try to trick us up with the new stuff by leaving out information from the past. Oh, sorry. All right, let me go on over here. Share this. Okay, it's quick, short.
Listen to this. This is completely on point. All the Mockingbird media, threat to our democracy. No nut jobs. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. There's a difference.
A constitutional republic, not a democracy. The ideal of a democracy is universal equality. The ideal of a constitutional republic is individual liberty.
Bingo.
A democracy always degenerates into dictatorship, which promises government-guaranteed equality and security, but it delivers nothing but poverty and serfdom for the people it robs and rules.
Did y'all hear that? Right? And that's exactly what these Democrats have done to...
Sound like democratic
America
states?
was founded as a constitutional republic to safeguard the liberties of the people against the tyranny of democracy or of one-man dictatorship. In this century, great strides have been made toward the goal of subverting our republic into a democracy.
Wow.
The foremost tactic of the subverters is subversion of language. By calling America a democracy until people thoughtlessly accept and use the term, the totalitarians have obscured the real meaning of our
Bingo.
But see, that's how they do it, though, by changing the words up like that. See, they've been doing that since then. We've been warning ourselves, since this, then too, right? So we see here that this kind of stuff ain't nothing new. It's what's been going on. What's been going on. All right, so let me see. I'm going to do one more little something here. Then I'm going to tell y'all good night. Or good morning. Okay, so let me see here. Is this it here? Okay, this is the last one here. And then this will be a discussion point for our next meeting, because we got, like I said before, I got the green light from YouTube that it's okay for me to talk about these transgenders and all this good little stuff here. So, like I said, okay, all right. This is the last one here. This here is a quick little short, but pay attention to this one here. All right.
Amelia, watch this. She had a priesthood. Her priests, listen to this, in her temples were men who dressed up as women. And they acted as women dressed up. So what's going to happen if she comes back? What's going to happen is, as she possesses a culture, is that men will start dressing. We'll start seeing that in our culture, which we do. These are her ancient priesthood. Also, they were involved in same-sex sexuality. We see that explosion as well. Also, it says, remember, she says she turns men into women, transitions them and women into men. Her priest, many of her priests were actually surgically altered. She calls them to be surgically altered.
I never knew that.
Yes.
I thought that was just something of our gender.
Well, we do it more sophisticated, but she especially, all the gods, but they go after the children, because if you have the children, you have the future. And so that happened in ancient times, happening now. And so you think, what would possess an adult to do this to children? Well, what would possess it? The spirit. This is what the spirit of the goddess.
Why does this ancient spirit sound so familiar? Watch this.
She had a priesthood. Her priests, listen to this, in her temples.
This is the demon goddess Ashtaroth.
They were men who dressed up as women. And they
men who dressed up as women. This is ancient time they're talking about, right? But since there's nothing new under the sun, guess what?
They acted as women dressed up. So what's going to happen if she comes back? What's going to happen is, as she possesses a culture, is that men will start dressing. We'll start seeing that in our culture, which we do. These are her ancient priesthood. Also, they were involved in same-sex sexuality. We see that explosion as well. Also, it says, remember, she says she turns men into women, transitions them and women into men. Her priest, many of her priests were actually surgically altered. She calls them to be surgically altered.
I never knew that.
Yes.
I thought that was just something of our gender.
Well, we do it more sophisticated, but she especially, all the gods, but they go after the children, because if you have the children, you have the future. And so that happened in ancient times, happening now. And so you think, what would possess an adult to do this to children? Well, what would possess it? The spirit.
Wow. See? Ew, them spirits. Them spirits is for real. For real. For real. For real. Right? Now, do y'all see how they targeting our children and all that stuff? All this stuff is strategic. 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 All right, strategic. I guess I can do. All right. Something, but I have a heart and compassion to want to help these children that's been, abused with this whole transition and stuff, right? Because it's sad that they're doing this to these children. Let's see. Ladam said, "Did you know that melanin is more valued than gold?" Yes, I did not know that. Let's see here. Ladam Sweetie said the Democrats are full of it. Yes. And they're the one. I mean, this is the reason why we ain't getting no justice right now for Shanquella under this administration, right? That's why I'm saying, y'all, and we can see that all the Democrats sound just like that, right? And you can see that, they're not conservative. They don't have the same views that y'all saw that family in the 50s, right? Black people had, dignity. They had, the posture was good. They were focused. He said that they were more on time with paying their mortgage, and all that stuff, because they took pride in all those things, right? So let's see. Ladan said most people vote Democrat because they were grandfathered in. Exactly. And that's why I want y'all to see this stuff here, because this is part of the trickery, right? This is how things don't get done, because we ain't voting on this kind of stuff the right way at all. See, PM Channel says, thanks for showing the video on the affluence and unity of Blacks in the past. Very informative. Yes. And I understand, like, that power is still out there. We need to harness it and get it back. Harness it and get it back. That's what we got to do. We got to go back to them days there. We got to go back to them days. And see, and I did. Did I do that? I did. All right. So I'm going to do, what is this? Is this it here? I already did that. All right, so I think that's about all I'm gonna be able to do, because my little eyes is getting dim here. Let me see here what we got. Sandra says, no, I didn't, LaDam. I think it blocks sun rays. Is that right? Oh, for the melanin? Yes. Let's see here. We said, yep. And because we have more melanin, our skin is thicker. These are true facts, aren't they? All right, so I'm seeing. I should probably end with one last little trans thing here, just so you know, I gotta get ready to usher y'all into this whole thing here. Let's see what I got. One. I'll do a easy one here. Yeah, it's getting late. All right, so let me read this last little comment. It says, Sandra says, LaDam, I read about Greek mythology when Socrates visited and studied in Greece and talked about the Black people and not what he disclosed about us to the Greeks. Huh. Yeah. Man, it would be beautiful if we can get back to those days, man, because that looked wonderful. I was like, wow, look at us. We was doing it. Denethia says, LaDam, sweetie, that is why Caucasians get tans and perm their hair. Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, y'all, I will see y'all in another video. And thank you so much for showing all your support and all that good stuff. Please like. Oh, I said I was going to do more of, I ain't do none of this stuff. Man, I wanted to do this. Please like and subscribe. Next time, y'all. I'm just a bit rusty because, you know, I haven't done this in a minute. But thank y'all so much. I love y'all and see y'all in another video.